I can.
Perfect. All right. We're ready to roll, Brooke? All right. So tonight's talk, well, first off, thank you for being here. Tonight's talk is going to be blood sugar, stress, and the brain. So how the sugar actually affects you, how it can cause inflammation, different aspects in regards to that, thought process, emotions, and how it can actually trigger it. And we're going to go over all of those things. So first off, thank you for being here in person and online. Now, for those of you who are here in person, there is a positive. Because we are in our expansion cycle, everybody who showed up here in person gets, is it 15? 15 tickets towards our prizes. The number one prize is a $350 gift certificate to the spa at the Gaylord of the Rockies. And number two is a massager for your feet. And I believe there's some oils in there as well. So just showing up, you get entered to win. So good deal, right? All right. So with that being said, we're going to look at how the brain deals with stress and what the stress will actually do to us. So let's think about, and anybody who's been here before is allowed to answer these ones because these are the big important ones. What are the things that can cause us to go into a fight or flight or a stress response? The three biggies. Do you guys remember? Injury, but what kind? We got physical, mental. Yep. We got physical, emotional, and chemical. So those are the big stressors we can have. Physical stress, head injuries, falls, trips. I've heard everything from one fellow. When I was first in Michigan doing a history, he said, "Doc, I'm fine. Nothing really happened in my life, but I got this little back pain." I go, "Okay. So never been in a car accident?" "Yeah, I was in a car accident. I hit a tree and flew through the window, but I'm fine." And when I did an X-ray on him, literally all his vertebrae were squished. They were called compression fractures. So he had squished vertebrae all the way from his neck to his low back, but he was fine because he felt okay. But that doesn't tell me he's not stressed out. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's physical: falls, trip, bacterial, viral, hitting a wall, falling, different things like that. Emotional. Emotional stress is actually 90% of what we have to help people with. It actually drives more than physical. If you have just a physical problem, the problem will usually alleviate or go away within 1 to 3 months with proper care. So if you get proper care, 1 to 3 months, it should go away if it's a simple issue. Now, if you broke a bone or have some weird thing going on, yeah, it might take a lot longer. We might need to figure it out. But the underlying driver that usually causes it is an underlying emotional stress. And you go, well, what can that emotional stress be? Well, it can be a relationship issue. It can be a problem with your animal. It could be a work issue. It could be, God forbid, you turn on the television and hear anything about politics. That could be an issue for you. It just gets your brain going all crazy. So there can be multiple things driving what's going on here. And what I need you to understand is these chemical, emotional, and physical stressors will cause effect on your blood sugar. So that's where I'm actually going to go. I'm going to show you how if you chronically think about stuff and are angry at the television and whoever it is and yelling at it, that can actually cause diabetes. It can literally drive you towards diabetes. I'm trying to show you here that we need to understand that the stress response is not just lion, tiger, or bear coming after me. It's what I'm thinking about routinely, what I'm feeling, how I'm working, how these things are, can literally drive it. And then the last one is chemical. So chemical, we can think about the things we eat, drink, and breathe. So this can be genetically modified foods. That's chemical stressful. So you go, well, what does that mean? Anything that's Roundup ready. And you go, what does that mean? Anything that is commercially grown, if it's not organic, is Roundup ready, which means it's literally genetically modified where they put fish genes or they put squid or different things in there so that they can spray a toxin on it and the grain won't die. So let's think about that for a second. There's food that you can literally spray Roundup on or glyphosate that won't die because it's been modified by other genes. Isn't that crazy? That's why you don't want to eat it, because it's not a real thing that God made. It's literally a creation, a Frankenstein thing. That by itself can cause problems because you won't be able to digest it. Your body goes, I don't know what this is. It's toxic. I don't know what to do with it. So we got foods like that. If we have high hormones in the foods, and we can see like the really cheap chicken you can get at the grocery store, that's because they can grow the chicken from chick to full grown in 6 weeks because they pump it full of hormones. Yes. Okay, it's not true.
It's not true. It's because they genetically work on the feed, on the genetics of the chickens, and also on perfecting the feed formulas.
The feed formulas, okay.
So they grow really fast.
But question though. Question. So we have somebody who's worked in the chicken industry, so he's correcting me. So I'll agree with that. But aren't you working in the industry that is clean? Like, aren't you working with the clean chickens? Can't you like boost them quicker if you put like hormones and stuff in?
We use hormones because it would be a waste of time. You'd have to inject them with hormones, and that would injecting every chicken would just be a waste.
Gotcha. Well, I do know the food is full of antibiotics, though.
They do use some antibiotics
on what you get.
depending on
Yeah.
the chicken you buy.
Yeah. So let's just go down that. If we're eating antibiotics, that's going to kill our microbiome. Now, that's really important because what does our microbiome do? This is something that most people are not aware of, and that is that our microbiome actually determines 50% of how we digest food, 50% of how we remove toxins. So if your microbiome is off, it literally means that you can get sick. It means you can get really sick from that. Does that make sense?
It does.
So we want our microbiome, we want our gut bacteria working correctly. So we don't want to eat food that has antibiotics in it. We don't want to drink water that has antibiotics in it. We don't want to have anything that would kill it. Now, what are things that would drive our microbiome to be off so we can get sick? Sugars. Yep.
Well, omega-3 feed my chickens.
Yeah. So we're talking about different foods that can help us, right? So we got chemical stress, the things we eat, drink, and breathe. Now, there are certain things that we can eat and drink that make us feel good, but also can cause blood sugar issues. So what are things that we can eat that make us feel good but cause blood sugar issues? Donuts, yes. But these are two drugs that people use all the time: marijuana and alcohol. So what do you get if you smoke marijuana? You get the munchies. That is a blood sugar spike and then drop, and then you need more sugar. So that's yes, and alcohol will literally do the same thing. It spikes your sugar and then drops it, and then you need food. That's why when you're drinking now, you got to eat that pizza at 2 a.m. or now you got to eat that pretzels or candies or whatever there is there. And that's why the people in that industry know that if I can give you enough salt, peanuts, that's why it's free. It's going to make you want to drink more alcohol, which is going to make you want to eat more and drink more, and then they make more money. So the peanut is a loss leader, or it's a product that will actually make you want to consume more of their product, because the salt will actually drive you to become thirsty, and then that'll drive the alcohol, and then you got blood sugars up and down. So we can see here, there's lots of stuff going on. We have physical, chemical, and emotional stress. What does this actually do to us? This is going to activate specifically our brainstem. And our brainstem is fight, flight, freeze. Our brainstem is irrational. Our brainstem is where the problems come from. If we don't want to get sick, we never want to have our brainstem running our bodies. Our brainstem is literally, think of a 2-year-old that is pissed off. That's brainstem activity. What controls that and downregulates it is our cerebellum and our frontal lobe. Our frontal lobe is our executive, our thinking, our who we are, decision making. It's I can think my way through this. I can decide I'm not going to feel pain. That's your frontal lobe taking over. I can decide I'm going to work through this. That's your frontal lobe taking over. Cerebellum, it gets turned on by movement. So movement, that's why mom said, if you're really stressed out, go for a walk. Go for a walk. And when you go for a walk, guess what you do? You stimulate that cerebellum, you stimulate that frontal lobe, and that down regulates, turns off that brainstem from being how you function. What happens when you stress, though? You turn all that off, and you push this sucker up, and you basically go into stress mode. Yeah, you're in stress mode. So if you're in stress mode, what are you going to do? You're going to get ready to run and fight or freeze. But the big ones we're going to talk about is running and fighting. So there are different brain waves. Oh, man. Lauren, can you pass me the brush? Perfection.
So cool.
Well, if emotional is the main stressor, would be helpful if you had a degree in psychology.
So the question is, if emotional is the main stressor, would it help if you had a degree in psychology? The answer is no, because even though you can have the skills, it doesn't mean you apply them. It's the application of the actual thing. So one of the people I heard the best of this was Tony Robbins. When he had lost everything, he was like 50 pounds overweight, and he knew everything about how to get better, but wasn't doing it. So just because you know it doesn't mean you actually do it. If you can literally take one thing from what I teach you tonight and do it repeatedly, that'll change your life. But if you get overwhelmed and then stop, you won't get any better. So my goal is you take one thing and do it, and then get better. And then maybe the next talk, you take another thing. And then in a year, you got 52 things, or let's say 40 things, and now you're a different person. Now you function better. Now you're healthy. Is that making sense? You're making wise decisions to make your body work better. So we have these different brain waves. Beta, alpha, and theta. I'm just going to do the simple ones today. These brain waves are what we measure. And when we measure them, we can know how your brain is functioning. Beta is a brain firing at 13 to 38 hertz. So it's really quick. Now, if the brain is firing really quickly, what is it going to use for fuel?
Glucose?
Exactly, glucose. Sugar, exactly. So if your brain is firing really quickly and you're making more beta, do you think your body wants to make more sugar go out or less sugar go out? These are really simple questions. Just play along. If you more, exactly. You guys are geniuses. More sugar. We need more sugar. That's the stress response. Alpha, this is your normal everyday state. This is in the zone, in the flow, everything's working correctly. This is a brain firing at 8 to 12 hertz. That means we don't need as much sugar. We can function normally. We're okay. And then theta, this is light sleep. This is 3.5 to 7.99 hertz. These frequencies determine how you perceive the world. When you are stressed out, you make more beta and more alpha. That means your brain fires quicker. Have you ever noticed if you're stressed out a lot, all of a sudden you start craving sugar?
Yeah.
Why is that? It's literally because you're using it up in your muscles and your brain. You're sucking it up. You're sucking it up. You're sucking it up. You may also be using it to drive dopamine, though. When we eat sugar, we get a dopamine hit. We get a happy hit. That's why people eat it, to get that, oh, I feel good, but then they get inflammation from it. So what do we got? We got this brain running high, and we got these stressors going on. So then what does your body do to make sure that you have the sugar to run or fight, that you have the body's ability to get away? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to release a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol's job, it has another name, and it's called glucocorticoid, which is a bunch of big words for make sugar go out. Release sugar to the hounds. Go out, and now we can literally use it. So every time we stress, we release this stress hormone, cortisol. Yes, sir. I never said I was good at spelling. All right, so we got cortisol going out. What is another way that we in our country deal with pain? we get a something injection, steroid injection, which is cortisol.
Right.
So we get a cortisol injection because this is a stress hormone that's released. Are you aware that when you get that cortisol injection, your blood sugar will now go sky high because it will cause you to keep liberating sugar from your liver? So if you get chronic cortisol shots, you can literally get diabetes.
Yeah, limited, that reason.
What?
They limit the amount
That-
or didn't-
The limitation is,
In high school, they lift.
one second, sir. So the limitations is that usually 3 times a year you'll get it. The cortisol also causes osteoporosis, so bone thinning, scarring. But yes, it can cause diabetes. So I've seen this firsthand. We had a fellow here who was doing a trial, and part of the trial, they were giving him cortisol injections. When he started care with me, he had normal blood sugars. In 6 months, he got type 2 diabetes because of the cortisol injections that we're giving him, because they wanted the inflammation to go down, but then the blood sugar went up.
Cortisone.
So literally, that's one of the drivers. Now, if you are somebody who wakes up at between 2 to 5 a.m. every day and you just boom, get out of bed, but you're tired, you're literally having a cortisol functional issue. So cortisol's job is to keep your blood sugar to going up. So what happens is cortisol goes opposite to melatonin. So they go in opposite cycles. What's supposed to happen is your cortisol is supposed to spike and be the highest it should ever be at 5 to 6 in the morning. So after you go to bed, your body starts releasing cortisol slowly to pull your blood sugars up, and then it spikes at 6 a.m. and you're supposed to wake up. What happens if you're chronically stressed? You will burn this hormone out. And if you burn that hormone out, now you cannot pull your blood sugars up as you're sleeping. Now you jump out of bed because your body can't use this hormone anymore, so it uses a different one to pull your sugars up because this one's depleted. What is the hormone that it uses? It uses epinephrine. Another word for this is adrenaline. So it literally pushes adrenaline up because adrenaline spikes your blood sugar. But it also makes you wake up because now you just got a shot of adrenaline. So now you're in fight or flight response. Cortisol is nice and slow. Adrenaline is a big spike. Adrenaline is only supposed to be used for short spikes in energy. Cortisol is supposed to be long-term spikes. But what I'm showing you here is if you're chronically stressed, now you keep spiking cortisol long enough, this will actually cause other issues. Because when you spike this, you also cause something else to happen. You cause insulin to stop being secreted. Insulin's job is to suck the sugar into the muscle, suck the sugar into the liver. So now you become insulin insensitive. Another word for that is type 2 diabetes or insulin resistant. Or another way to saying that is basically you can't absorb sugar, so it stays high. So if you chronically stress and it's only emotional, you can literally get type 2 diabetes. Let's say we chronically stress and now we use alcohol every night, quicker to type 2 diabetes. Chronically stress and use marijuana every night, quicker to diabetes. Same things start happening. So we want to look at what are we actually doing? Are we trying to help ourselves deal with stress by modifying? Do we have modifications that are actually helpful for us? Or do we have things that will actually drive us towards getting sick? Because we do not want diabetes. Diabetes is literally us destroying our body. Why does that happen? Type 1 is autoimmune. We break our body down because our immune system literally attacks our pancreas and we can't make insulin anymore. Type 2 is stress diabetes. It's not just diet. You can literally have type 2 diabetes, and these are those skinny fat people, the people who look normal, but they have fat in their abdominal, and they have type 2 diabetes. You go, how can you have type 2 diabetes? You're not fat. Oh, I'm their CEO of a company. Oh, they're chronically stressed about their marriage. Oh, they're worried about their job. That's why they have type 2 diabetes, is they're literally so stressed out that the cortisol is messing with their insulin, messing with their blood sugar. And now they're not absorbing it. What happens is you do not want high blood sugars for long periods of time because it will literally start attaching itself to things. So what happens is, we'll say this is the gut. And if you have diabetes, you have chronic inflammation. That means proteins are now going to start going through the gut. And sugar is going to stay at a high level. So what will happen is, let's say that's sugar and that's protein, they attach and they bind together and they become what's called a glycolylated end product. It's a bunch of big words for sugar and protein bound together. But sugar and protein bound together will now literally start forest fires in your body. It causes chronic inflammation because your body doesn't know what it is. It thinks it's a virus. It thinks it's a bacteria. And it says, that's foreign, let's kill it. Now, the problem is that foreign thing that's been attached is all over your body. It's not one, there's millions of them. And now it attaches the little pieces of your arteries and your veins. And that's why you get the dying off of little vessels. And that's why you get the dying off of nerves, is it literally starts attacking these different areas where it gets stuck. That's how you get your neuropathy and your blood vessel issues and your sight issues and your chronic pain issues and your kidney issues. It's because the sugar is attaching to things. We do not want to get it to go that far. If we can stop it, then we can literally make it so it's not going to get worse. And then you won't have that chronic inflammation and you can live longer. That's why literally Western medicine, insulin is the best thing that they've ever invented. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like a lot of the other stuff, but insulin saves lives. If you have diabetes, you need insulin. If you have type 2 diabetes and you're really sick, you need it for a short period of time, and then you need to get your health right. You can't go, I'm just going to take this insulin and then drink a bottle of wine and say I'm fine. No, that's not going to work. You're going to kill yourself. But I've literally heard patients tell me this. But doc, I figured it out. If I just smoke my joint and then I take a couple more, what do they call it? cc's or units or mils of insulin, then I can be okay. Just don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. It's saying if I just eat a little toxin, it's okay. No, it's bad. It's bad. No, it's going to kill you. So what are ways that we can actually tangibly change how our body responds? I found a new one out today that I didn't know. So this one's really cool. After you eat, it's called postpendal. Basically, after you've eaten, as soon as you're done eating, if you walk for 2 minutes, it has the same effect as if you just took a shot of insulin.
You know, I was raised on a farm part of my life.
Now, sir, I want to hear what you're going to say, but I got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
And then I'll listen to all your talks. Is that deal?
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's one thing that we can do. There's another thing that we can do. This one is new to the office. This is a blood restrictive device. And what it does is it will actually restrict the blood flow to your muscles. So it's called blood flow restriction. What it's used for is people to build muscle mass but not hurt their joints. So they want to get buff, but they don't want to hurt their joints. So people as they age will use it because they don't want to hurt their joints. Bodybuilders use it. People who want to do different activities will use it. What we need to understand is that the goal of what this product does is it's directly blood sugar related. So this is another way for you to help modify your blood sugars without having to actually use long-term training or anything like that. The training for this blood flow restrictor device is usually in the beginning 1 to 2 minutes. And you will literally start sucking sugar out of your bloodstream. I need you to understand that 50% of all the sugar in your body in the form of glucose glycogen, is stored in your muscle. So when you use these devices, you literally put it on and it restricts the blood flow, not to the point where the artery can't get the blood in, but it won't let the vein get the blood out. then what happens is your body cannot use oxygen to make energy. So it goes to blood sugar and will start sucking the blood sugar out of your muscle. This is not something that most people do because most people do not do high intensity exercise. So is there a cheat code? Yes, this is the cheat code. You can exercise for 5 minutes a day and get the same results as going to the gym for 45 minutes. You will get the same boost in nitrous oxide that clears out your arteries from plaquing. You get the same boost, and it will help the little vessels that have been damaged through diabetes to regrow. You can use it to also suck the sugar out of your bloodstream if you have high blood sugar. So if you're a diabetic and you have high blood sugar, you can do a quick minute exercise and it will really suck your blood sugars and pull it down because it will drive the sugar directly into your muscles and use it. So this is an easy way for you to adapt to the environment that you're in, the stress that you're in, and suck the sugars in and drive it down. That make sense? So that's another cool way of doing it. Man, I didn't even get to the other ones. I always have more than I want to talk about. I always have more to talk about than I have. All right, so takeaway. Stress can literally drive your blood sugars to go up. If we're chronically stressed, that can lead to diabetes, stress response, cortisol levels being off, not being able to sleep. Easy ways to fix it. Eat, go for a walk. We're not talking a 5-hour walk. We're talking 2 to 3 minutes. That means you eat and you walk around your block. And that has the same effect as taking a metformin shot. That's crazy. Other thing you can do is if you do have type 2 diabetes, you can do blood flow restrictive devices. And what that is, the product we use is called B3. It's a band that goes around, restricts the blood flow. You just do quick exercise, maybe 30 reps of biceps, 30 on triceps, and it will literally start sucking the sugar out of your bloodstream and pull it down. So it's another cheat code that we can use to help you modify your blood sugars. Let's say that's not working well enough, and then you need nutrition. We can use omega-3s that will actually suck the inflammation out of the binding sites to make you more sensitive. We can also use a product we have called glycine that has things like, I can't even remember. I think it's like manganese and vanadium and different things, and it makes you more insulin sensitive. And then if you really need help, we have a product called berberine or glycoberine that actually makes you more sensitive. That product is so strong that if they run out of insulin, that's what they give to diabetics so they don't actually die. It'll actually suck the sugar and make you more insulin sensitive. So what I'm showing you is we can start with the least invasive and start working up. And if you're really sick, then yeah, you may need insulin for a short period of time until you can get your body under control. Because when you're inflamed, your blood sugars are out of control. Do we have any questions about what I just talked about? No. So takeaway, stress can literally cause diabetes and it can be emotional. That's what I need you guys to understand. The emotional stress can literally throw you off and cause you to get sick. If it isn't, then we can look and see if there's something else like an autoimmune disease or a dietary thing, but you're like, no, doc, I eat really well. Cool. What's your gut look like? Do we have the right microbiome? We can test that. If you don't, then we can fix it and it can literally make sure that you stay healthy and you can digest everything correctly. So if you have a friend or family member who has some blood sugar problems, we have a patient appreciation week coming up. That's next week. That's when we do the full exam that is a $500 value for 20 bucks. That's the no-brainer. What do you get during the exam? You get an EEG, a brain scan. What else do you get? A neurodevelopmental test that shows me how your brain is working, how you perceive the world. What else do you get? You get the assessment, and then you get a report of findings for a no-brainer. So if you have a friend or family member who has sugar issues, stress issues, anxiety, depression, any of that stuff, we can look at it and see if we can help them and see if there's an underlying mechanism that we can help take care of it. If you want to take advantage of it, call the office. We have some spots left. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and if you want the food, you come in on Thursday, and that's when we have food and drink for everybody. So please be the light for somebody else. Bring them the knowledge that we've been showing you, and if they want more, have them come in and we can do the testing. I want to thank you guys for being here and have a good night.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right. All right. You want to try it out, Izzy? All right. So Israel, how often do you exercise?